Alrighty folks, we're back with another algorithm video. So I'm pulling all these problems from LeetCode, if you didn't know. So we're on number 8. The problem is atoi. This is just a function in standard C++ that they offer you, but we're going to be implementing it ourselves. So all this does is convert a string to an integer. Obviously we're going to need some numbers in that string to be able to convert to an integer. So we're just going to work through the code that I wrote yesterday, and I'll try to explain it the best I can. So let's start here down in our main function here. So we have a boolean that's just indicating whether our number is going to be negative. And how we're going to get this boolean is we're going to look for the first character and then check if the first character is a negative symbol. Alright, and then we have this integer called num, and this is just going to be our final result that we're going to print out. Alright, so the first thing we have to do is get the string from the user using the get line and the keyboard. So the keyboard is just using the cin string. And then we're going to find the first non-white space character. So we're going to loop through each character in the string until we find the character that's not a space. So now we have the start index stored in I. And then we need to check if it's an actually valid first character, and we're going to do this using the isValid. So that's up here, and all that's doing is checking if the first character is plus, minus, or if it's a digit using this pre-built isDigit function, passing in char. Alright, so we have if it's a valid character. Back to the main. If it isn't a valid character, then we're just going to return or set the result equal to 0, and then after everything we're just printing that out. So if it's not valid, we print out 0. If it is valid, then we're going to do this stuff. So we're going to cut out the white space, all the stuff that was before the first character, and set it equals a string. So we got rid of that. And then we need to check if the first character is the negative or positive symbol. If it is negative, then we need to set the negative boolean to true. And really this isn't right, so I'm just going to get rid of that plus. You can do a nested if statement, but I'm just going to get rid of it. And then we're going to increase the index by 1 if it is a negative symbol. We do this because we want our start index to be where the numbers start, and the negative symbol isn't a number. Alright, and then we need to find the end index. The end index is just going to be where the numbers stop. So let me print out an example. If we have space, 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 and then like negative 1, 2, 3, ABC or ASDF, then 3, whichever index this is, that'll be our stopping index. That's what I mean by that. And we're just using a while loop to find that. And we have to do end index minus minus because in our while loop we're doing plus plus, so it's always going to be 1 more than it needs to be. So we just subtract 1. Alright, and then we cut out everything that was like trailing those numbers, so like the letters that are trailing it. So now we have our string set as just the numbers, and we have our flag setting whether it's a negative number or not. Alright, so we have our substring that's just numbers here, but they're in character form, so we need to convert this to number form. We're going to do this with a while loop. We're using j as our counter. Starts at 0. And we're using this convert function and passing in the character just to get the integer version of that character using a switch statement. That's all that's doing. And then we're multiplying that by 10 to the power of the length of the string minus j plus 1. And this works if we take an example. So we have the number 1, 2, 3 we want to convert into integer form. We take the number 1, it returns 1 as an integer and multiplies it by 10 times 10 to the power of 3 minus 1, which is 2. So 10 to the second is 100 times 1 is 100. So that's 100 there, and then we just add that to num, and we do that for each index, and that gets us 1, 2, 3, 123 as a result. And then if it's negative, if our flag for negative is true, then we just multiply by -1. Alright, and then at the end here, we just print out the result and end the line. So let's go ahead and run this again. I don't know what take this is. I might have run it already. But anyways, I'm putting in some spaces and then some letters and some numbers, and it's not going to convert because the first character was not a number. So it just returns the invalid, which I set as 0. Let's go ahead and run this again. So we'll do a valid thing this time. So 1, 2, 3 with some spaces before it, and then spaces and some letters, and it returns 1, 2, 3. So it's working. That's this video. Try it on your own. Catch you later.